Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Haut Beyleron here in Farming Simulator 22 with me, C1E. It is a brand new day. I have slept through the night. I finished the sowing contracts, the fertilising contracts. I managed to recover from the crash at the end of the last video. I had to wait for the AI worker to finish doing the whole field and give me the contract complete message, and then I could summon him back to the farm. But if I tried actually going to him myself, the game just crashed and locked up instantly. So I really do have to avoid this area around field 20, the bottom of field 21, all this area here, basically. Around this bloody spinnery location, around this thing. This is the thing that's crashing my game. And I even got a little bit of a crash when I was doing a spraying contract on field 43. When I drove off field 43 to turn round, I got a bit of a crash. So seems like the shop is the limit here. If I go any further north than the shop, where this thing is, that's where I'm getting my crash. So I need to avoid that area wherever possible. I'm just delivering some more water to my greenhouses. As you can see, we do have tomatoes already appearing outside. It's very nice. Just going to fill it up with water. I figure if I drop a tanker of water in every day, more or less have filled the greenhouses to max capacity. I don't know how long they take to actually use the water. How much well, I know how much they roughly consume per fruit, but we don't know. Bees are happily producing honey still. Try and do a better job of reversing this in here. There we go. Right. So what is my plan today then, folks? Well, let's have a look at the map, shall we? See what is occurring. First of all, let me turn my grass on, and then I can see if my grass field is ready to do anything with. It's not. It's great. It's getting close though. 36 is ready to harvest, but that's not our field. We have ploughed field 35. I did say we was going to stone collect. Let's just have a look, see if there is a harvesting contract for field 36. Harvesting 26. That's soybeans, not the contract I want. I wanted the sunflowers. Oh well. We ain't getting sunflowers then. Right, let's go and have a look at we're going to do rolling, weren't we? I said I was going to do a bit of rolling, and then we was probably going to do some cover crop, plant some cover crop on that field to grow over the winter, which will give me a fertilizer state, and then in the spring we can cultivate the field to remove the cover crop, and then plant whatever fruit we want to plant on the field instead. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the whole concept of cover crops, or don't know what a cover crop is, a cover crop is a type of plant, basically, that farmers put on their field to prevent soil erosion, chemical erosion, things like that over the winter period. It helps to keep the fields, you know, nice. If the fields have got any obviously if they get a lot of water, a lot of rain over the winter. The cover crop can obviously absorb a lot of that water. Help dry the fields out a little bit. And then in the springtime, what they tend to do is they tend to go straight over the field then with a cultivator and basically chop that crop into the ground, where it will obviously rot down and become a fertilizer, and basically fertilize fields. So I want a roller. That's what I said I was going to get, wasn't it? A roller. And between these two, I think I'm going to take that one. That one works for me. How's my Valtra doing? Okay, doesn't need any fuel yet. All good. So yeah, sorry about the crash at the end of the last episode, everybody. And also apologies if the audio, my microphone audio, is seemingly different in every single video at the minute. I'm still playing around with my mixer and my equalizer and everything to try and find a balance in the mic audio that seems to appeal and work for everyone. Some people complain that the audio is too bassy. Some people have been complaining that the audio has been muffled in some of the videos. So I'm still finding the sweet spot. The problem is with how I then render and edit these videos, because I tend to do my videos in batches, 3 in my editing software. I can't apply individual audio sort of filters and changes and stuff to each video, because the audio filters and effects get applied on a track by track basis in Vegas. So all my videos are, so basically the whole mic track gets the filter. So the problem with that is, if I record 3 videos with 3 different mixer settings, 3 different equalizer settings, I can't really use one standard software mix, can I? Okay, so rolling's not working. These stones must be too big for rolling. Right. We'll take that back to the farm very quickly. I'm going to put my headlights on because it's a little bit dark. It's 20 past 8 in the morning, but obviously because it's raining and it's October, it feels very dark to me. I don't know how it looks for you guys obviously watching the video, and until I come to watch the video back on a device that's not my TV and not my monitor, I won't know how the video actually looks. If it looks brighter for you and better for you. It's definitely not great for me in-game. It's very dark. I've said this before. This map feels very dark. It seems to take ages for it to get daytime, like the sun to come up and, you know, illuminate the world. And the sun seems to set very, very early in the evening. So we're going to want a stone picker upper do that field. We'll keep the roller. The roller will come in useful for when we do other fields in the future. Like I say, I was kind of hoping my my soybeans would be ready for harvesting, but they're not yet. In some ways, I'm kind of pleased my soybeans aren't ready for harvesting, because obviously it's raining. And you can't combine in the rain. Or at least it doesn't go very well if you try to combine in the rain. Someone tried telling me the other day that you can now combine in the rain. in Farming Simulator 22. But I'm not prepared to give that a go yet. Colour do I want to make it? New Holland blue? Like white, nice white rims. Right, there's me stone picker upper. That's cost me a lot of money today. Bought a stone picker upper and a roller. I best be making a lot of money from my tomatoes and lettuces and strawberries, is all I can say. I have done rolling in the game. I did manage to roll some fields on my multiplayer map the other night. My suspicion would be that I would have been able to have rolled those stones. I would have had to have cultivated the field. I think if you've cultivated, you can use a roller after. I think if you've used a plough or something that does deep soil, then I think you have to stone pick. I think you've got to pick. The stones are just too big. Too many of them. So yeah, I think if if I'd have done cultivating, we might possibly have been able to have squashed some of the small stones back down into the soil. The big stones would still be here, so at this point in time I'm probably better off stone picking, and then hopefully in the spring when I cultivate the field after we've done our cover crop, I'll be able to get away with just doing rolling. But these are all new mechanics that we've got to get a head round that have never been in the game before this year. You know, stone picking, field rolling, it's stuff you've never actually had to do before. Yes, there have been rollers in the farm sim games in the past, but they've been used more for deleting fields and removing fields. They've not actually had a, if you like, an actual purpose. I mean, people have used them from a roleplay perspective, but they've not actually done anything. You know, it's not like rollers actually did have a practical effect on anything. They were just something for you to play with. Like I say, you could use them to delete fields that, you know, where you'd got fields, you could use the rollers to remove the field and put it back to the map. But in FS19, once we got the landscaping and terrain painting tools, we never needed to use the roller to remove fields because we could do it with the landscaping tool. And I think that's kind of what Giants have gone for this year. You notice the landscaping tools tend to do all the field removing and painting and stuff. So it looks like they've just repurposed the rollers to actually have a in-game use now. Otherwise, they might as well have, if they hadn't, they might as well have removed them, because, like I say, they didn't really have a function. They were made pretty redundant by the landscaping system. But now we've got a reason to use rollers, because, like I say, we need to get rid of stones from fields. Because if you don't get rid of stones, even little stones, and I know Mr. Helgi will be watching this video, and yes, I'm talking to you, Mr. Helgi, because you didn't do any stone removing on Elm Creek on the multiplayer server. You just seeded all the fields, and then he wonders why it costs so much to repair all the equipment and repaint all the equipment. Well, yeah, if you keep driving the equipment over stones, you're not doing it any good. So your seeders, your cultivators, your harvesters, your mowers, they all take an absolute pounding if they start sucking up and running over rocks and stones. So to keep maintenance down and not have to repair your equipment quite so frequently, you kind of want to remove stones from fields. Also, another thing I saw on a recent video, someone commented on one of my videos, and then just as I was about to actually reply to the comment, I noticed they actually deleted the comment or removed it. But they were asking about the weeds. Why couldn't they remove weeds with the weeder? When the weeds look to be the same length as what I was doing earlier on in the series. My best guess, without obviously having seen you doing the weeding, would probably be that if you were trying to use the mechanical weeder on a field which had crops on it, and those crops were in anything other than the first growth stage, the mechanical weeder doesn't work. If the crops are growing on your field and you try to use a mechanical weeder to remove weeds, it won't work. Once the crops are growing, your only option is to use herbicide spray. That's your only option. That's the only way you can remove and kill the weeds once the crop is growing. Doing an excellent job here. So we just need to get all the stones picked up. And then we'll do some cover cropping. Right, I'm actually going to let the worker take over. He's probably going to miss a few stones, but that's not a problem. I'll scoop them up in a minute once he's quite finished. Because the workers, again, want to work at strange angles. A bit like the old terrain angle system where, you know, in the old previous farm sim games, when you like ploughed fields, it was especially noticeable that crop would only... You know, you'd have like 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees, 180, etc, etc, etc. Angles. And when you was ploughing, sometimes you'd be ploughing in this direction. Like you'd be ploughing across here, but your lines would be going in a different angle. And that was because of the terrain angle in the game. That's not so much of a problem in FS22 because Giants have increased the number of terrain angles. However, it seems like the old workers still use the old 45 degree, 90, 100. So, depending on the actual angle of the field when you start driving, they won't necessarily keep going in that direction. They'll turn to find one of their nearest angles. I love it. We've got bloody honey, man. I don't know how much honey is in a pallet, but I'm just going to move that pallet. We might need to go get a trailer, you know. And get a trailer set up for our for being able to put all our pallets and stuff on. That could be a good shout. Get the Massey Ferguson. Equip it with a front loader. Equip it with our front loader. I look like James Bond then, in his Aston Martin. Where you gone, James? James, come back. No time to die, James. No time to die. Let's go get... You know what? My tractor was really muddy after I'd finished yesterday. It seems like your tractors get washed in the rain now. I don't have to wash my tractor. I don't need to buy a power washer. Unhook all that. Uncouple that. I'm noticing, maybe it's just me, and maybe I've already said this in a video. Whenever I have anything attached to my tractors, I can't really tell what it is that I've got attached. Because it's not noticed again, because I'm playing with my, maybe because I'm playing with my HUD so small. But right now I can't tell whether I've got the front loader selected or I've got the tractor selected, because they're both highlighting in white. It'd be nice if that could highlight my selected tool in a slightly different colour. That would have been fantastic. Put my beacons on as I'm about to go for a drive. Right, I'm going to go get some pallet forks, and I'm going to go get a little low trailer. A low loader, maybe, for transporting pallets. Come in very useful as well for transporting things like herbicide and liquid fertilizer in IBCs as well from the store. I can maybe get a little bit of liquid fertilizer and a couple of pallets of liquid fertilizer, a couple of pallets of herbicide, just to keep handy at the store, because I can't buy those things from my handy little refill station. So we're going to want front loader tools. We're going to want pallet forks. Have we got pallet forks? Have one set of those, please. And then, is it low loaders? There's that one. There's that one. The only thing that puts me off that slightly is swivelly axles, especially if I need to do any reversing when I'm in a sell point. What about that? That would let me transport pallets, would it not? This trailer can be used to transport your pallets, can it? I mean, obviously, the ultimate aim would be to get something like that once we've got a truck. But I don't have a truck. So maybe we go low loader option. How many pallets do you reckon I'd get on that thing? Or should I just stop mucking about and buy one of those? That's wide. Standard. Side guard. I don't really think I want the... Yeah, I don't really think I want the... side guards. I'm just going to have it standard, I think. That'll do. Do. Right, so while we're here, let's grab ourselves. They're under pallets, aren't they? 2,000. Maybe some liquid fert. 2 pallets of each. We'll keep those then handy. Let's see. Wow. The pallet didn't get stuck on the forks. Maybe Mr. Helgi wasn't joking when he said they've improved the pallet handling. Maybe. I still would have liked... Ooh! Still would have liked to have seen... Ooh! They're getting a little bit twitchy. They were getting a little bit twitchy then. I mean, I'm going to be happy once we get auto-load trailers. I'm not going to lie. I really don't enjoy this aspect of farm sim. Picking up pallets or bales or anything like that. Logs. You know, I'm not a big fan of that aspect of the game. I don't think that particularly works very well. I think that's one of the things that Giants does let themselves down very badly with, is the physics system. When it comes to lifting, stacking, placing objects with tools and equipment in the game. And that's something that they really do kind of need to work on a little bit, I would guess. One day down the road in the series, on their roadmap, once they've added all the other things they want to add first to the game, I hope then they think, okay, we'll have a look at physics now. Once they've added all the other stuff. Physics and GPS. Those would be my 2 #1 requests of things I would like to see added to the game. Difficult to tell sometimes. Let's just bolt that up. You can tell I used to be a forklift driver in real life, can't you? I still use all the same techniques for butting up pallets. Just bash them against each other. So we'll add that. Put on our tension straps. Now we've got a trailer that we can use for putting pallets on. The good thing is, I can move the pallets by hand. So I won't actually need to load my tomatoes and my honey and things like that with the forks. Because I can pick those up and move those around by hand and stack those manually. It is mainly just for these tanks, like IBC tanks, my herbicide, my liquid fertilizer, things like that, that I need. I need the pallet forks. The reason I'm driving over here right, now what are the odds that I can get these pallets off again? Right, and this one is herbicide. So we're going to put herbicide down over here. Next pallet. I tell you what, this isn't going terribly bad. Pallet handling definitely seems a little bit better than in previous games. I'm not going to say it's the most true, realistic, accurate thing in the game, but it's definitely better than it was. The pallets aren't trying to launch themselves into space, and so far my tractor hasn't tipped over and hasn't been flipped over because the pallets have started twitching and jerking and flapping about uncontrollably. But then when I come to pick them up, see, that's not centered. Where this is where having I've always said this is where VR would come in very great for farm sim. Being able to do pallet handling and stuff in first person would be very useful. Having the depth perception, being able to see, like seeing proper 3D. So you can see exactly where your forks are in space and where the pallet is in space. See, that's the first example of a pallet that did not want to play ball. That one didn't want to come off the forks, that one didn't. Now, question is, am I going to be able to get that pallet? Should be able to. Oh, I tell you what. We may have found our new calling in life, folks. We may now be chief pallet handler. And the trouble is, if I do such a good job of handling pallets, all the people on my multiplayer server will be expecting me to do it. And they'll be like, oh, just leave it to Watty. He can do all the pallets. Right. I'll leave that there. No, I'm not. I was thinking to myself, I'm going to leave that trailer there, but it's not really in a great place. What I'm going to do with it is I'm going to bring it down here. And then I'm going to park it right outside my area where I'm going to have my me veggies. Right, I'm going to grab my seeder as well now, because I'm going to go back to the field that the stone picker was working on. And, like I said, we're going to do a cover crop. I believe is that symbol there, the one that looks like two stinging nettles. Right, we've got 64% seed. Hopefully that will be sufficient. I don't think I'm planting grass, so we're not planting grass, so there's no reason why that should absolutely disappear at 5 million miles per hour. Dude's still got a lot of rocks to pick. So, cover crop. In Farm Sim 22, that's oilseed radish. You can't harvest it. As soon as it's grown, you cultivate it. And it basically fertilises your soil. And it looks like we're getting a good. We're not using millions of litres of seed. There's my bees. The bees making my honey. See, I've done woefully bad there. I did not plough. I did not seed that line very good at all. Sometimes the texture's a little bit hard to follow, actually. Gonna have to use the mini map a lot. I'm gonna have to use the map a lot more to. Yeah, I'm going off at flipping weird angles. Look, I'm not seeding this. I should seed at 90. I should just go straight up north south the field and don't worry about the angles. We'll worry about the angles at a different point in time. I still need Mr. Stone Picker Man. He finished? And apparently he reckons he has. I'm not so sure. Yeah, let's try and throw a bit of light on the subject. So yeah, there's a whole load of field over here he's not done. Just going to try and get this done quickly. Doesn't have to be too perfect because we're doing the oilseed radish. It's not like it's a crop. So again, there's no yield involved in oilseed radish because it's not a crop you harvest. It's not something you can harvest and sell. It's purely designed to go in the ground and act as a fertilizer. Admittedly, I've now also realised I'm making a terrible gaffe because I really should not be planting oilseed radish with a seeder filled with fertiliser. Kind of defeats the point, doesn't it? Oh well. Yeah, I think probably what I'm going to end up doing is taking my seeder. I think it's only leased, isn't it? Currently. Probably after I've finished this seeding and planting. After I'm done. Is take the whole seeder back to the store when I return it, and then the next seeder I get, I'll make sure it only does seeding, doesn't have fertilizer built in. It would be better for me to do that, I think. Right. I've picked up my rocks. Just going to sit there for now, though. Of course, it would help if I was actually seeding. Right. Try and get this. There we go, that's better. I think I've now covered all the area that I bodged. However, the field does go at a bit of an angle with my current seeding approach. Probably need to try and straighten that up a bit. But yeah, it is hard to tell between the stoned area and the seeded area. Stone collecting kind of seems to mess everything up a bit. There we go. Right, this time we're not going to follow the field. I'm going to keep going on my current angle. And that way, when I come back, now all I'm doing is filling in that little triangle there, but then hopefully all my other rows should stay in a line. I think that's it. Yes, I've filled in all that gap now. Good. I'm having a hard time seeing where I've seeded. Where ridge markers would come in very useful, I'm guessing. To indicate where your next row is. Missed a little bit. I've missed a little bit. That'll do. Right, I'm just going to have to carry on with this, folks. I hope you don't mind if I finish this off camera. It's going to take me a while, as you can clearly see. Plus it's raining, so there's not really a lot else we can do once I've done this. So, yeah, we'll probably come back and I'll probably have moved on another day in the next episode of the series. So thank you for watching today's episode, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have done, remember to go and click that like button for me. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not already doing so, and don't forget to enable your notification bell. Leave your comments for me in the comment section down below, and remember to share this video everywhere you see fit with everyone you see fit. I've been Seawaddy. This has been Haut Beyleron. Goodbye for now.